A decrepit Soviet-era apartment block on the outskirts of the Lithuanian capital, Vilnius. In the hallways, children find refuge from the confines of their cramped flats. And in this 18-square-meter dormitory, 32-year-old Violita Lampinskiena lives with her husband and 5 children. The flat is noisy and provides no privacy for parents or children. There is no hot water, no toilet, no proper kitchen, and barely enough room for this family of 7 to sleep.
Čia miega Enrika, čia miega Artūras, ant šitos lovos miega Lėja ir Samanta, čia miega Milana, o mes su vyru miegam čia ant grindų. Čiužinį pasidedam ir miegam ant grindų.
Violita's children are not alone in experiencing hardship. Almost 20% of European youngsters are at risk of poverty, a higher rate than the adult population. In Lithuania, these figures are even steeper. Hundreds of thousands of people have left the Baltic states in recent years in search of better paid work in countries like Britain and Ireland. In Lithuania alone, 30,000 children have been left behind with relatives, foster families and sometimes in institutions, putting them at an even greater risk of poverty and abuse. This is the Alytus State Children's Home, the biggest such institution in Lithuania, with 168 children aged between 4 and 18. The director of the home admits that institutional care is the worst possible solution for children, but often the only alternative to even greater abuse and misery at home. But some children are being placed in institutional care or with foster families for pure economic reasons, because their parents went bankrupt, lost possession of their house or fled abroad in search of work. This is the town of Penwain in South Wales, one of the most deprived areas in Britain, with high unemployment, child poverty and teenage pregnancy levels. But it's not all doom and gloom. In this parenting class, young mothers are receiving advice on how to deal calmly with demanding babies. Helping young mums back to work and training is key to reducing child poverty. Genesis Wales, an EU-funded project, aids unemployed or unqualified people overcome some of the barriers they face, learning new skills or returning to work.
A lot of the children in these families, in these areas, they could end up being second, third generation unemployed. They only see their parents as living on benefits, things like that, and they then don't raise their aspirations. But, if the parents can ultimately get back into work, that sets a good example for the children, and obviously can lift them out of poverty, which is what we're aiming to do.
It's all very well urging mothers back to work, but many parents find it difficult to juggle the demands of jobs and babies. Affordable, flexible and quality childcare is the answer. Britain is a poor performer in providing childcare, but in other areas it provides something of a model for reducing child poverty. In the last decade, almost 2 million youngsters have been lifted out of misery. But a British child still has almost as much risk of growing up in poverty as a Lithuanian. All EU countries are signatories to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, which states that all children, regardless of race or religion, have a right to a standard of living that is good enough to meet their physical and mental needs. At present, millions of children in Europe are being denied that right.